Welcome back to Wellman Art Studio. I'm Ray. Today, I'm going to try out this called Manuscript. I want to turn the ink that I have into one of these from using this. Does that make sense? These are meant for calligraphy and stuff, so that'd be interesting to see. And this is manga ink, by the way, so by definition, I'm following the rule. I'm not going to. I'm going to use any inks too. I just want to see like how it behaves. Man, these are really, really sensitive. Really fine. Somewhere between a brush and a pen, like sort of like a felt pen. That's really cool. I like it. It's very nice feeling. That line weight variation is really, really nice. Makes it really interesting. I'll lay that down pretty thick just so I can see how it looks. Not apparent. This is a king. Wearing a kingly robe. And this is a really fine one, so I can't imagine what the bigger one to be like. When I started doing the watercolor texture is creating a bit, the paper has quite a bit of texture, creating a lot of variation in the texture I'm laying down. But I wasn't sure if I was going to like brush pens when I first picked the one up because, they're flexible and they're not like pen nibs where they, what's the word I'm looking for? The ones that, like a Sharpie or something, it's got like a spongy kind of into it or tip. It's felt, I believe, most of the time. And because of that, you don't get much line weight variation and whatever. And so it's very controlled. So if you want that, that's great. But I noticed the more I draw and paint and stuff over time, over the years, that I started to realize I like being able to lay down shade, texture, and all that kind of stuff very quickly to create the impression of things instead of so much exactly line for lining it, because that can be kind of boring to look at and very tedious when you try to put shading down because you have to use hatching with a smaller brush tip or a pen tip, and it takes forever. But this is cool because you have to carefully lay this down. So this is somewhere between drawing and painting. Very nice. I do like this. This feels very old school, much like the pen nibs do. It's okay if I get a little bit too much texture. This was just to test out. That's me laying it down pretty thick because I'm curious to see how that's going to look. It's okay to just experiment with stuff, man. Don't overthink things. If you feel like you're afraid to try stuff, you're never going to know what your potential is. You're going to just always be stuck in the same old. Just keep breaking your own rules. That's how I learned to draw the way that I do, which is I'm fine with now. Yeah, just take your time, but hurry up. Choice is yours. Don't be late. Seriously, don't fiddle fart, man. Just nothing should be so precious that you don't just try to do something with it. Life is too short for that. Put something down on the paper. If you're drawing or if you're playing music or if you're writing a story or whatever you're doing, just get it done. It's sort of like success overall. Most successful people will tell you they failed a lot before they got where they're at, and it's because they just aren't afraid of making a fool of themselves in front of themselves mostly. There's a lot of failing that goes on behind the scenes of all these quote unquote perfect people you think, some musician you think is really awesome or artist or whatever. I'm gonna tell you right now, they busted their ass to get there. I don't care how good they were. I like to always make these stories up of heroes that just born that way or whatever. Of course, there are prodigy exceptions, sure. But even still, they have to learn how to do other things. Fail at all kinds of things. Everybody does, man. This tooth reminds me of Minecraft, actually, when it was first out, this second year it was popular. My stepson used to play it. I started playing it a lot. One of my friends suggested I play it, and I was like, we were actually playing GoldenEye at the time, the re-release, not the original, which of course I played that too, but he, you gotta play Minecraft. And I'm like, what is it about? I had no idea what it was. I'm like, it just sounded like you were mining for stuff. I'm like, that doesn't sound fun for me. I don't want to work on a video game. What are you talking about? He's like, no, it's not like that. You gotta play it. Finally just gave in. I gave it a shot, and then the first night I played it, I spent 6 hours stuck in a cave trying to find my way out. I remember thinking like, I could just quit. I don't have to keep playing this. But I was like, no, I'm determined to get my guy out of this little hole he's in. And I did. And then I was like, oh God, I felt like I lived a lifetime in his shoes. It was really crazy. And that's why people say live different lifetimes in video game. This is really cool. There's not much to say about it. It's just very much like pen dipping, like a dip pen, but with a brush effect, which I did do before. Like I said, I used the Winsor Newton one, but this behaves much more differently because it is very fine, much different. I don't even know how to say that properly. I speak in poetry, okay? I'm a musician. Leave me alone. I'm trying to go very, very faint. It was cool though. I like it. So yeah, this is a kawaii guy that I drew for my wife that she didn't end up drawing or inking. So I figured I would do it real quick. Well, we have a starting point. How's your buddy looking so far, Rosanna? So this is very delicate. If you go into it heavily, it wants to do that dry brush effect, which is cool if that's what you want. And it also doesn't seem to be flinging ink everywhere despite how much ink is on it. Let's see. If you go too heavy, trying to go very, very light. It's okay though. Just an experiment. It's going to take me time to get used to using these. Plus, the watercolor kind of does what it wants to. See that dry brush effect I was referring to. And pen nibs too, you don't get all the way up on it like this. Not like you would with a pencil necessarily. It's sort of on the side. That's cool though. It creates a very interesting texture with the watercolor. There. I'll just go ahead and shade them on the side too then. His scepter's going to be difficult to do. This is very interesting. I mean, I suppose if you really want that point, kind of roll it around like that, kind of roll it on the side of the cup. Yeah, this is really hard to keep my hand steady. Again, that's the texture doing that, pulling the ink. Like, it'd be interesting to see how this handles on Bristol. Very delicately touching this paper. I mean, very, very, very lightly. Just letting the brush weight sort of hit the paper. If you've made it this far into the video, I am seriously considering doing a cartoon or an animation. Because for one thing, I like to be silly. I like to laugh. I do have a cartoon. It's very old. I messed a long time ago. Called Pet Peeves. I'm considering doing it again because, you know, why not? Be funny. I finished up my comic, which I'm working on. I did a couple of pages today of some of the final inking stuff and then to the races. Yes. I dry brush some of this over here. It's got a really cool look to it, actually. Me like it. So let's try dry brushing this side. Yeah, I like that. Really cool way to get texture. Look at that. Really pretty. Let me not spill the ink. Very cool. Now... yeah, so I'm thinking about doing my cartoon again, and specifically, what I have currently is something called Pet Peeves. It is a take on, you know, stuff that most of us find annoying. Sorry, I'm trying to hold my breath on this. I don't want to make too much of a mistake on this. Hang on, go too far off. So Pet Peeves is basically like animals, anthropomorphized animals in everyday human situations that are, you know, frustrating, like road rage, or people not washing their hands, or people being annoying in general for some reason, whatever the case may be. And you may not necessarily agree with all of them. It's just meant to be funny. Like, I do that. That's not very funny. Well, obviously it is, because you do it too, which I find hilarious. This is his scepter. It's cool. You don't know what's going to happen. Kind of fun way to do it. Anyway, Pet Peeves. It's very hard to find. I would have to link it if anyone is interested, but I'm thinking about bringing them over to here because they're really easy to do. They're shorts. Most of the time. They're very, very short. Like, before shorts were a thing, I released them as long videos, but they are super short and silly, like 30 seconds to a minute long, which now they fit on shorts. But again, at the time, they did not exist. Thinking about doing like animations for the shorts and then just leaving these for like these, like draw along videos or reviews or whatever. Still figuring out what I'm doing. I am just having the fun, you know. Try to remind myself that that's what I'm doing. Having the fun. See, this texture is what makes it interesting to look at, I think. So pretend he's holding that, you know. He's a toothy tooth. There we go. So let's make this interesting. Let's give him a little bit of shadow, right? I suppose I can go a little harder and give him a little bit of something else. Let's do like a little shading in here and some of his folds, you know, creates a little bit of depth, a little interest in his character design. Cool. It makes him look very old school. There you go. There he is. I'm going to dry brush a little bit on the side. I'm saying dry brush because the brush is actually drying up with the ink. And so I used to think of it as like a brush that was dying, but it's really like very little ink on the brush. Creates that effect. That's cool. Here's your king. And you would do as he says. It's cool, right? You called me super professional. My wife gave me a compliment, Kate. She always says my animations are professional profile and that when I actually draw and actually work the character the way that I should. She's like, hey, he looks so good. Sometimes she'll be like, oh, he's already done. You should leave him alone. And I'm like, oh, hold on. Let me just add a little something. She's like, are you sure? You're going to ruin my guy. And then she's like, oh, never mind. You're right. What's funny is that she and I have known each other since high school. And in high school, she did not know I could draw because I used to tell everybody I couldn't because I didn't think I was very good. They're like, man, you can draw. Not like I think I should be able to. I'm trying to get this bottom part here a little bit more. There we go. More darkers. My idea of being able to draw is like at the time, you know, comic art or like, I don't know, Disney, you know what I'm saying? It's just, I didn't feel like I could draw like that. So there we go. I thought I couldn't draw. So there is Mr. King. And I'm going to sign this with this because you know why? Because I can. Try and point that up a little bit. There you go. Anyway, I think overall that I only use this one. The only difference I see between these is, well, to be honest with you, nothing. I don't even know if this is a 3-pack of different sizes or if they're all the same now that I'm thinking about it in terms of the hairs on them. Maybe the barrels are thicker. This barrel is definitely thicker. But again, that's just the bamboo, I suppose. See, because you can see the structure of the bamboo in there. I know next to nothing, okay? What can I say? I guess, honestly, I don't know if they're different. I really don't. I used the smallest one because I wasn't sure what was going to happen. So this is the smaller one. I mean, I guess there is a little difference. And let me show you. In the thickness, not only the barrel necessarily, but like, again, I really don't know if they're meant to be similar in size. Oh no, they do have different calligraphy on them. And I'm reading that upside down. Now, I'm going to have to look that up. I guess they are different size. It actually might be numbers. Let me check just to be clear. Okay, well, just for the sake of knowing, these are Chinese for, I don't know if it's in simplified or traditional Chinese, but this is small, which I was correct on. That is small. And then this one here, this symbol means medium. And then this one here is large. So that's all it is. They're small, medium, and large. They all kind of look the same. So I don't know if it's, the barrel is not the size. It's definitely the length of the brush and the width of it. This it's easier to tell without the tops on. You can kind of see it there. Yeah, small, medium, large. I mean, I can see it now that I'm looking at it. It's tapered. Very small difference, but it is small nonetheless. Small, medium, and large. Anyway, and they are a little bit different in length, actually, now that I'm holding them. That's their, small is shorter, medium is longer, large is bigger. I mean, in a few ways. It's a very, very small difference. Anyway, that all being said, if you made it this far, I very much appreciate it, and I just wanted to show you guys what it looked like. Here's Mr. King. This is what we ended up drawing today with the brush using the small. Again, this is manuscript from Hobby Lobby. Good stuff. You want to get it, it's $10, or you can get it online too, of course. And thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.